But first, Scotland will kick off next summer's Euro 2024 finals against the hosts Germany in the opening match of the tournament, while England have been given what looks like a favourable draw against Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia. We'll have more on that in a moment, but there's no doubt about the headline. Scotland up against the three-time European champions Germany at the Allianz Arena in Munich on June the 14th. They've also been drawn alongside Hungary, who went through qualification unbeaten, and Switzerland, who qualified second in their group behind Romania. Scotland's last major tournament win was against Switzerland at Euro 96. So get the date in your diary, June the 14th, Scotland against Germany to get the tournament underway, fittingly, at the iconic Allianz Arena in Munich. Then it's Switzerland on the 19th. That match is in Cologne. Scotland's last win at a major tournament was against Switzerland at Euro 96. Ali McCoist, the match winner. And finally, it's Scotland against Hungary on the 23rd in Stuttgart. That will be the first time those two sides have met in a competitive fixture.
The draw is what it is. Now I've got to go away and do some homework, look at the opposition and prepare the team properly. That's the most important thing. The good thing about the draw is we've now got clarity. We know who we play, we know when we play them, so we can go away and prepare for it.
I totally get that in terms of the preparation. You've got a job to do, but to be an opening game at a tournament with the hosts, something special to be part of.
Yeah, it should be a good occasion, but for us we've got to make sure it's not about the occasion, it's about the match, and make sure that we turn up and play as well as we can play.
And in terms of the opening game of any tournament, often can sometimes be a bit of an upset there, Steve.
Yeah, well, hopefully it is this time.
Just on the other groups, the other teams in the group as well. Switzerland back in Euro '96, victory for Scotland. I know we're going back to different generations. But how do you feel about those two? Yeah,
it's a long way away.
How do you feel about those teams and picking up points against those teams?
Nah, it's good. Listen, all the matches in the group will be competitive. It'll be a tough group, and we look forward to the challenge.
Well, England will be happy with their draw. They avoided the other home nations and the likes of Italy and the Netherlands, although they potentially could go on to play Scotland in the quarter-finals. First, though, England will be favourites to get out of Group C, where they've been drawn alongside Slovenia, Denmark and Serbia. England have never lost to Slovenia in the 6 times they've met. The game against Denmark is a repeat of the Euro 2020 semi-final, which England won 2-1. Serbia are the lowest seeded team in the group. And this is the order of those matches. England kick off against Serbia on June the 16th in Gelsenkirchen. Then it's Denmark in Frankfurt on June the 20th, before the final group game against Slovenia in Cologne on June the 25th. There's a big incentive for England to win their group, because that would mean facing one of the third-place teams from Groups D, E or F in the last 16.
You earned the right to be the top seed. How did you feel being top of the pile? And the other teams that came out, how do you feel about the draw?
Certainly when Denmark came out and you could still have Denmark, Croatia, Italy or something like that, then you're wondering where it's heading. But then, of course, you have to be very careful not to underestimate the opponents you have, because I've seen, I've been fortunate as a coach and a player. I've been to 8 tournaments. I've seen a lot of teams that were fancied and well ranked going into tournaments not deliver and not get out of their group. So we have to have the humility to start again, as well as we've been playing and as well as we've built over a long period of time. And we've had sort of 5 years we've been ranked in the top 5 in the world for 5 years. So we've had consistency of performances and results. But a new tournament means a new challenge, and the first objective is to get out of the group again.
I spoke to a couple of the coaches who are so complimentary about what you've done just with the team, not in your time, at the time you had within the team, but just in the last couple of years. They're seeing real development. I don't know whether they're trying to pile pressure on you, but how do you feel about that pressure? All those compliments coming from so many managers here today.
Yeah, well, I take that with a pinch of salt, because managers are good at that, because I do it myself. But no, I think, look, it's clear the team are heading in a good direction. The rankings came out this week. We were 3rd in the world, so I think our performances across the calendar year have been good. 8 wins, 2 draws. We won the toughest qualifying group and we won it comfortably. But that's history, and you have to go again in the next calendar year. So it's nice when we travel around Europe. I have to say, we do get well received, and we do get a lot of credit, which is lovely. But of course, we know there's still a step we want to take, and that's what drives us.
Gareth, what pressure do you feel you're under when you look now for the preparations for this group stage? You want to win the tournament. It's semi-finals, a final, quarter-finals. How much pressure are you under from yourself at the whole thing to actually take this team and win a title?
Well, you're quite right. Probably the biggest pressure is what you put on yourself because of what you want to achieve and what you want to bring for your country, really. But it's no more or less than when I started in the job 7 years ago. We now have a lot more experience of big matches, a lot more experience of navigating tournaments. So we're looking forward to it. We're hoping that we can give our fans, our public, some more great nights like I think we have in the last 3 tournaments.
What do you think you've learnt from, you mentioned there the last 3 tournaments, you've got so close. What do you think you've learned that can help you just go that step further?
Well, the first thing is that when you have a difficult performance or a difficult result, which happens in every tournament, we've been able to navigate that. So even the players have got used to that. We had one with Scotland in the last Euros, we had one with the USA in the last World Cup. So you have to stay on track in those moments. But also we've got great experience of really big matches. I mean, we've had several quarterfinals which people kind of dismiss now, but quarterfinals of major tournaments are big games, and we won one in Russia against Sweden that we won quite comfortably. We beat Ukraine, which was also one that looked more comfortable because of the way we approached it. They're big nights, and they're stored in the memory bank for us as a staff, but also a lot of the players that are with us.
Gareth, can you give us a sense of how the players will feel? They'll know the draw that's come through. They'll be hungry, but you've got a special group, a generation of players here. Everyone here is asking me, how good is Harry Kane? How good is Jude Bellingham? I'll ask Gareth Southgate, he'll tell me. But in terms of the players, how much do they think this is a moment in time, a special moment for them to deliver for their country?
Well, I think every group of players realises that you only get a certain number of tournaments, and you want to be playing in a team that has a chance of winning. And results over a consistent period would tell you that we are one of those teams that can, as the French will feel, as the Portuguese will feel as well. So there are good teams in Europe. It's a tournament that has had all sorts of different winners because teams have peaked at the right moments. Denmark did it themselves, Greece did it, so it does throw up some anomalies, but we want to be going into every tournament competitive as we are. We set that out 10 years ago. Can we get to the latter stages of tournaments regularly, because that's how you learn to win in the end.
Listen, I know you've got to take who you're drawn against, but you've had to play a home nation the last 2 tournaments, Wales at the last World Cup, Scotland at the Euros. A little bit of relief that it's not a home nation, because there's a different edge to that kind of game, isn't there, a home nation game?
Well, there is. I mean, they're great games, I have to say. They are really great games, and for the fans, they of course have that additional appeal. But look, they're both good football teams in the end. That's the biggest thing. And obviously Wales, Rob's still got a couple of stages to go, but Steve's done a brilliant job with Scotland to get them where they are. I think he'll be looking at that group thinking that's possible to get through. So yeah, in terms of the quality of what they are, you'd rather not play them, but in terms of the local derby element, they're brilliant games to be a part of.
Just one about the sort of the fans, if I may. This is a heartland of football. It could be, it's as good as being in England. The support's going to be fantastic. The English fans will travel in huge numbers as well. Just talking to Kasper Hjulmand as well, said there's going to be so many Danes coming over for that. This tournament, it's already an excitement about the fans and the fans' involvement. How much does that help you as well, knowing you can have 10, 20, 30,000 English fans in a stadium?
Yeah, well, the most recent tournaments have been a little bit different because it wasn't so easy to get to Russia or Qatar, and the Euros, we were coming out of COVID and was very different as well. So this will be a little bit more like the tournaments when I was playing and when I was growing up, and yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're pleased that our fans are excited because that's what it's all about.
The news of the draw was only reaching Premier League managers after their 3 p.m. games today, and here was the reaction of Brentford's Danish manager Thomas Frank when he heard his country had been drawn in the same group as England.
Have they?
In the last 5 minutes, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
Oh no! What do I do? Okay.
What do you reckon to that?
That's fine. I'll just have to. It's a good question. A very good question. Are they trying? Who's the two other teams?
Slovenia and Serbia.
Serbia. Okay. Okay. Tough group. Yeah. Yeah, but of course, going into the Euros, there'll be two teams I'll support. That is England and that is Denmark. I need to say I'm slightly biased towards Denmark, if that's okay. So hope they will win, of course. England, of course, are the favourites. They have a fantastic team. I think Gareth Southgate and his staff and the players have built something over years. I think they're very unlucky not to win the Euros 3 years ago. I think they actually also were a little bit unlucky in the quarterfinal against France last year, or whatever, to the World Cup. They're one of the favourites to win the title, and if not Denmark, I hope they will do it.
A tough group awaits Wales if they can get through the playoffs. They'll be drawn in the same group as Austria, France and the Netherlands. First, though, Wales must get past Finland in the playoff semis and then Estonia or Poland in the final. Should they do that, then Rob Page's side will set up an opening match against the Netherlands in Hamburg on June the 16th, before games with Ralf Rangnick's Austria on June the 21st and World Cup 2022 runners-up France on June the 25th. Wales would be the lowest-ranked team in the group. Let's round up the rest of the groups then. Group B looks like the toughest group, containing 3-time champions Spain, Albania, Croatia and the reigning champions Italy, who beat England on penalties, remember, in the Euro 2020 final. Group E contains Belgium, Romania, Slovakia and another of the playoff winners. That will be one of Israel, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Ukraine and Iceland. And finally, Group F will be Portugal, Turkey, the Czech Republic, and one more team, which will be either Georgia, Greece, Kazakhstan or Luxembourg.